Okay. Oh, whew. Okay. Looks like we are back. Okay, let me see what is going on. Okay, no one's on right now. It's just me and the empty stream. But yep, gonna continue making. Gonna continue on our video making. So, um, let's just recap what happened. Let's just recap what we have did so far. So, okay, let me just cut this time span. Hey Joy, hey Flash, hey Monaco, hey Human, what's up? Oh gosh, yep. So, yeah, just as mentioned, I'm just gonna continue on continue the making of Solo Shadow Raid Vault plus Helicopter Trick. So just a quick recap. Last on 2 days ago on Tuesday, we spent 4 minutes on the topic. 1 hour for the almost 1 hour 50 minutes on research, and we have already spent 52 minutes on flow and script. So let me just update that. Hey Ira, thanks for dropping by. Okay, so just gonna resume from 52 minutes. How do I remove this? Okay, yes. Remove segment, remove segment. Okay, so as mentioned, what we did the topic. Yep, still doing the video. Gonna do the full sequence live. So as mentioned, so yep, here we are, the continuation. Okay, so we did the topic, we did the research. We had managed to do 3 records. Recorded no freeze run on how to open the vault. We managed to get a alternate opening of the vault where the keycard is on this side instead. And then we did one more with the frozen Murkies. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so now we're gonna resume on the flow and script. We're now actually in the flow part. We just did the outline, which is the flow, in the last stream. So now, yep, just gonna resume at 52 minutes. So I'm just gonna start that. Okay, here we go. Okay, so today is definitely the most boring part and the part that I dislike the most, doing the script. But before we even do the script, I'm going to look over the outline and see if this is fine. Outline is just like keynotes and stuff. Point form in point form. So we're going to talk about opening. Basically, I'm going to introduce what the video is about. Then first thing I'm going to talk about is the helicopter trick, because I want to talk in layers. I want to learn how to solo the vault. We have to secure the vault, the warehouse or the depot first, and then of course there's a helicopter trick. So we're going to talk about the helicopter trick. Blah blah blah. Okay, let's just take a quick look to see if this is acceptable. So 300 seconds, yes. 50% chance. I'm gonna talk about how the container thing works. Why do we want to do it? Blah blah blah. How to secure the warehouse. Murkies, yes. Open vault. Okay, this is I'm just reading through right now in my head, and it's not going into my head because, ooh. This is all very dry. Okay, so one thing I added before we started the stream is that I forgot that there is a guaranteed keycard in the pantry or the kitchen on normal and hard. So we can talk about that in the script. Okay, I'm not gonna look at the outlines anymore. Just gonna go straight for the scripting. So scripting, straightforward. Script. This is definitely the first draft, so let me just put this on the left and put this on the right. So opening. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, so this is how I usually do my script. I will read my notes and then I will just type. Okay, but the first draft, today we're definitely going to do the first draft. So what happens in the first draft is that I'll usually try to finish the entire draft, but it may or may not make sense. There will be typos because I'm trying to generate the words. It's like writing a composition. You know, when you do your assignments, you write a composition, you're just trying to finish it. So it's all going to be very rough. And yeah, so okay, so I'm gonna go about opening. So hello guys. Okay, am I gonna say that? So what I'm gonna say, so opening. Hey guys. Yeah, I kind of struggle with the words sometimes. I don't really know what to say, so opening. Okay, imagine the intro of my video, the bell, and then I'll just do the usual. Hey guys, yes, hey guys. Today we are going to do something that most. Today we're going to do something that most players already know. But okay, I usually in a sentence, right? When I do my script, so okay, so let me just finish this sentence first. Today we're going to do something that most players already know, but for the sake of new players. Today we're going to do something that, but for the sake of new players, we are going to solo the vault. We'll learn how to solo the vault. No. Today we're going to do something that most players already know. For the sake of. So, the newer players. Today we're going to no. Okay, this is. It doesn't sound right. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna talk about. Say that this is something most people already know, but for new players, that's why we're gonna do this. So. Oh no, actually. This one is more about how to open the vault. So not gonna talk about. Okay, you mean the breaking of the window at the side near the dumpster loot point, right? No, I'm not talking about that one because yeah, it's not so much about securing the loot, but how to open the vault. So no, in fact in the gameplay we didn't even do anything about. We didn't even secure any loot actually. So yeah, it's not so much about securing loot. Yeah, so no, I'm not gonna talk about the window. Okay, so today we're gonna do something that most players already know, but hey guys, for today's video, the content in today's video may the then in today's video, maybe old stuff for the veterans, for the how to solo the Shadow Raid Vault. Hey guys, today we're gonna do something that most players already know: how to solo the Shadow Raid Vault. It's obvious. So does this sentence make sense? Today we're gonna do something that most players already know: how to solo Shadow Raid, obviously. So here's where I add in a little bit of humor, but obviously, yes, my cat is making a lot of noise. If you're one of these players, then we're gonna do something that most players already know: how to solo. If you already know this, well, yes, I typed whelp. No, my cat isn't dying, just whining for attention. If you already know this whelp, just stay on. Well, just stay on and enjoy. That doesn't sound right. Does not sound right. If you already know that, today we're gonna do something. Okay, let me just ignore. Let me just not say this. Let me just go straight to the point. Hey guys, today we are going to learn how today we're gonna learn to do something which was today we're gonna do something which was once thought impossible. That's my script, right? I mean, why do I sound shy? Okay, we're gonna do something which was once thought impossible. Which was once thought impossible. Solo the Shadow Raid Vault. But of course, that was many years. But of course, that was many years. This is why I have such a headache doing the script. Yeah. So today we're gonna do something which was once thought impossible. Solo the Shadow Raid Vault. But of course, that was many years ago. But of course, that was many years ago, and yet I have. But of course, that was many, but I have yet to see a full tutorial on it. Okay, so here it is. Of course, that was many years ago. Nah, this part isn't too much. It's just an opening. So, of course, that was many years ago. But so here it is. Okay, so I talk about the open vault. And then I have to talk about helicopter trick. So of course that was many years ago, but I've yet to see a full tutorial on it since. So here it is. That was a manual, but But I've yet to see a full tutorial on it since, so here it is. No, I already used the word but. Okay, I can just ignore this, just pretend that it's a new player watching, so. They're gonna do something with a solo shot, but before we can even attempt to open, yeah, I gotta go straight to it. But before we can even attempt to open the vault, we would have to secure the warehouse first. As no. Hey, Sante. What's up, Sante 3000? But before we can even attempt to open the vault, okay, but an open vault is. No, I'm trying to talk about. No, first I have introduced the main topic, but I'm trying to say that before we could even do the main topic, we have to do something else first and something else first. So, yep. All right, Sante. Today I'm just making a video and we're at a very boring part. So, yeah, I'm not sure if. So yeah, stay on if you want to. But an open is a recipe for. But an open vault is a recipe for. For an alarm. For alarm. It's not a recipe for that, but since an open vault can. But since an open vault is suspicious and can. And can alert guards, we will. But since an open vault is suspicious and can alert guards, we have to learn how to secure the warehouse first. But since an open vault is and can alert guards, we have to learn how to secure the warehouse first. And at the same time, and to further make that easier, we'll learn the helicopter trick. Okay, so this is the opening. That's fine. So now this section we are talking about the helicopter trick. So okay, so just a side note here before we start. One habit that I have formed and learned is instead of using the word you, I have changed most of the words to we. We don't actually have to learn the guard patterns, Sante, because the guards will definitely patrol in front of the vault. Can alert patrolling guards. We'll have to secure. We'll have to. This is too long. We'll have to secure the warehouse first, and to further make that even easier, we'll learn the helicopter trick. Okay, so as I was saying, this is something that I made a change some time back, maybe a year or two ago. Is that I changed all my wordings from you instead of you. I have changed most of it to we. Personally, I think it's a psychological thing, which, helps make the reader or the viewer feel that, like, oh, we're in this together, instead of, and to make that easier, you have to learn the helicopter trick. It feels like you're like instructing someone, you're like alienating someone, like, oh, you have to do it. It is your responsibility. You have to learn how to do the helicopter trick. learn the helicopter trick, something like that. I believe it's a psychological trick. Maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't, who knows. Okay, back to it. Okay, so now this part I'm gonna talk about. Okay, we learned the helicopter trick, then I'm gonna talk about this. So okay, so learn the helicopter trick. So when playing Shadow Raid, we'll notice that we notice an announcement and also the arrival of a helicopter sometime during the first, I'm gonna say 5 minutes, but sometime during the first 5 minutes of the game. When playing Shadow Raid, we'll notice an announcement and also the arrival of a helicopter sometime during. Yeah, Joy. It's just something that I thought of, you know. When using you, it sounds too harsh. Okay, so here's one thing I also do is like I put a comma just to remind myself that I need to make a pause when I try to record later once I'm done with this. When playing Shadow Raid, we'll hear an announcement. And also the arrival of a helicopter sometime during the first 5 minutes of the game. This actually and when that happens, we will either get I'm gonna talk about this the 50-50 thing first. And what happens, we'll either get a container. And when that happens, we either get a container with an artifact, or worse, more murky water, or worse, even more murky water cards. With a guaranteed. And when that happens, we'll either get a container with a guaranteed artifact, or worse, more murky water guards. Wow, okay, how am I going to talk about this now? So again, in this section, I kind of like introduce what this thing is about, like a background. When playing Shadow Raid, we hear an announcement also the arrival of a helicopter sometime during the first 5 minutes of the game. And when that happens, we'll either get a container with guaranteed artifact, or worse, more. It's a 50-50 chance to get it's a 50-50 chance to get either one, but fortunately the trick but fortunately I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna talk about manipulating it right here. So it's a 50-50 chance to get either one, but fortunately this trick but fortunately we can manipulate that chance with this trick. Okay, so I've talked about the trick now. talk about, say that we can manipulate. So it's a 50-50 chance to get. Okay, okay, so one thing is that I usually break it up into paragraphs like that, so that when I record, I will record it in one sentence. Sure, Sante, you can just type it in the chat. I'm actually reading. Yeah, but it's all churning around in my head. So yeah, if you say something that's helpful, it would definitely go into my head. So yeah, I may not say it out, but yeah, it's gonna go in. So yeah, it's fine. You can just type it out. When page written and when sometime and when that okay, I will usually try to make sure that it is in one big chunk of text. So during recording, I would record them all together to sound more natural. Happens, we'll either get a container with guaranteed artifact or worse, more murky water guards. It's a 50% chance to get either one, but fortunately with this trick, we can manipulate it. But fortunately with this trick, we can manipulate it. Okay, so here's good. I'm going to talk about the 300 seconds now. So what happens is that when a player first enters the compound, the helicopter is scripted to arrive, scripted to spawn. So what happens is that when a player first enters the compound, the helicopter is scripted to spawn 300 seconds. It's sort of 300 seconds later, or 300 seconds later, or 5 minutes, all 5 minutes. When playing Shadow Raid, okay, it's a very chance, but following. So what happens is that that's what happens when I type the first draft. I don't really what goes on in my head and what I type out can be slightly different. When the player first enters the compound, the helicopter is scripted to spawn 300 seconds later, or 5 minutes. And right at the moment of spawning the game, and right all 5 minutes, so what happens that when the player first enters the compound, the helicopter is scripted to spawn 300 seconds later. 300 seconds or 5 minutes. It's scripted to spawn 300 seconds. Oh, whatever, I'll just say 5 minutes. 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes from there. And right at the end right before the helicopter spawns, the game checks for 2 particular zones. Checks if how am I gonna explain this? I'm trying to talk about the zone. The game checks if the zone is enabled. Checks if the zone is enabled. Yep. So what happens is that when the helicopter is scripted to spawn 5 minutes after, and right before it spawns. Yeah, sometimes I type too much. I try to shorten it. Right before it spawns. And right before it spawns, the game checks. And right before it does, the game checks if the game checks if the landing zone is valid. So it happens that when a player first enters a compound, the helicopter is scripted to spawn 5 minutes after, and right before it does, the game checks if the landing zone is valid. Okay, so here we go. So obviously we don't want the extra murkies. Obviously we don't want the murkies, so we'll disable the reinforcement landing zone. And to do so, landing zone. So it happens that where player first enters the compound, the helicopter is scripted to spawn 5 minutes after. And right before it does, the game checks if the landing zone is valid. Obviously, we don't want the extra murkies, so we'll disable the reinforcement landing zone. And to do so, all we need to do is to okay, so for some inspiration, I'm just gonna open up the long guide to take a look at the picture of the landing zone. That would help a little bit. Okay, so long guide. Why is it taking so long to load? Oh well, because it's the because it's the long to load guide. Okay, that was a bad joke. Oh come on, it's not loading. Okay, I actually have an idea. I know what the zone looks like, but okay, never mind since it's already loaded. Alright, Sante, see you in a bit. Okay, so this is the zone. So what am I going to say? Obviously, we don't want the extra murky, so we'll disable the reinforcement landing zone. And to do so, all we have to do is have one player. Okay, this is another thing I do. I consciously do is that depending on whether I want because this is gonna be subtitles eventually in the video, so depending on whether I want to have people focus on the number, if the number is important to the video, I would put it in the numerical number instead. So in the subtitles, it will show up as a number rather than have one. Yeah, that's what I do if the number is important. Okay, and to do so, all we have to do is have one player sit and wait on, and to do so all we hey Ukemi, what's up? Oh, but do you mean you get a notification late or you got it? Or you're wondering why you got it today? Oh well, Google is slow, I guess. But for today, I'm just doing a video, as in making a video live, so it could be boring. But anyway, thanks for dropping by, Ukemi. Nice to have you here. Okay, so right now I'm in the middle of the script. I'm talking about the Shadow Raid helicopter trick, as you can see. So, okay, so back to the script. Obviously, we don't want the extra murky, so we'll disable the reinforcement landing zone. To do so, this is a bit draggy. To do so, obviously we don't want the extra murky, so we'll disable the reinforcement landing zone. To do so, okay, this one is going to be in the same sentence, so I'm just going to put it here. Otherwise, there's going to be a pause here. So what happens when... So all we need is to have... All we need is... To do so, all we need is... And right before it does, the game checks if the landing zone is valid. Obviously, we don't want the extra murky, so we'll disable the reinforcement. Okay, I can edit here extra murkies and pages, so we'll disable the reinforcement landing zone. To do so, all we need is To do so, all we need is to do so, all we need is I'm trying to say all we need is to have one player sit inside there, but how am I going to phrase it in a proper way? So all we need is, let me see, to do so all we need is to, yeah, I've talked about this. Oh wait. And when it happens. With an announcement 10 seconds before it does. 10 seconds before it does. And when players generate, we hear an announcement and saw the arrival of a helicopter sometime during the first 5 minutes of the game with an announcement 10 seconds before. 10 seconds before it happens. See, I'm repeating it here. Happens. But now 10 seconds before. Okay, this should be fine for now. This is just the first draft. Don't have to think too much about it. Okay, I'm not going to talk about a container. I'm just going to talk about how to disable the reinforcements. So what actually happens is that when a player first enters the compound, the helicopter is scripted to spawn 5 minutes after, and right before it does, the game checks if... Do I need to talk about the announcement? Okay, let's not talk about the announcement first. So what actually happens is that when a player first enters the compound, the helicopter is scripted to spawn 5 minutes after. And right before it does, the game... checks if... Hand pages, so we'll disable the reinforcement landing zone. To do so, all we need is to have a player walk onto the first half, walk onto one half of the helipad, the half closer to to the spawn, the half closer to the spawn. To do so, all we need is to have, all we need is for a player. All we need is for to do so. All we need is for a player. This sounds like wrong English. To do so, all we need is a player. All we need is a player to walk onto one half of the helipad, the half closer to spawn, and wait for the helicopter. And wait. Okay, now I can say about the artifact. And since okay, no, I have to talk about bear in mind that okay, because the zone works in such a way, if two players walk in and one player walks out, it will be enabled. Because the game code actually checks when a player walks out, it will enable the spawn or the zone. Yeah, I just had to put it into words. I can imagine how it will look like in the video, but I still have to structure the words. Bear in mind that this zone works in a peculiar way. Bear in mind that okay, I think this works. To do so, all we need is okay. Let me see if this sentence flows. So what actually happens is that when a player first enters compound, yes, I said bear. Oh, how did you get that font? So actually, the helicopter is scripted to spawn 5 minutes after, and right before it does, the game checks if the landing zone is valid. Obviously, we don't want the extra murkies and pages, so we'll disable the reinforcement landing zone. To do so, all we need is a player to walk onto one half of the helipad, the half closer to the spawn. Okay, I don't have to repeat this, but to do so, all we need is a player to walk onto one half of the helipad. Walk onto the half of the helipad closer to the spawn and wait. Yeah, I don't have to do this in brackets. And with bear in mind that this zone works in a peculiar way. When a player enters the zone, it disables the zone. It's enabled when a player walks in and disabled. No, it's disabled when a player walks in. Disabled when a player walks in and enabled when a player walks out. To do so, all we need is a player to walk onto the half of the helipad closer to the spawn and wait. Bear in mind this zone works in a particular way. It's disabled when a player walks in and enabled. It doesn't sound... It doesn't... it doesn't sound all that peculiar if a single player does it. Walk in, disable. Walk in, walk out, enable. Walk out, enable. So all we need is a player walk on the half and helipad closer to spawn and wait. Bear in mind this zone works in play. It doesn't sound all that. Alright, thanks Sante for popping in to say hi. Perhaps you could check out, I mean, when this video is complete and released, well, you can actually think back and see that this will all sound very familiar. Alright, so thanks for watching. Have a good day, man. To do so, all we need is a player to walk onto the half of the helipad closer to the spawn and wait. Bear in mind this zone works in a peculiar way. It's disabled when a player walks in and enabled when a player walks out. It doesn't sound all that peculiar. It doesn't sound all that peculiar for... Alright, Sante. See you. I'll be back. No, when bear in mind these zones. Wait, how is that peculiar? Okay, sometimes I will add in some like what you call it. Some text is like it's not me, like it's somebody else asking me a question. Like for example, to do so, all we need is a player to walk onto the half helipad closer to spawn and wait. Bear in mind this zone works in a particular way. It's disabled when a player walks in and enabled when a player walks. Then I will have, this is like a random viewer. Wait, how is that peculiar? Okay, yep, something like that. Then, yep, I will. Well, it doesn't sound that peculiar for... when it doesn't sound all that peculiar when it's just a single player. But with multiple players, two players can walk in, disabling the zone. But with multiple players, two players can walk in, disabling the zone. Hey, welcome. What's up? Is UT stands for YouTube or something? Well, no, I won't be playing. Yeah, I won't be playing for a bit because I will be making a video. And no, I don't like Holdout. It's just too boring for me. Alright. I prefer to play Holdout with AI though. That helps. Excuse me. Yep. But yeah, go enjoy playing Holdout. I'll be sitting here doing my video script. Wait, how is that peculiar? Well, it doesn't sound all that peculiar when it's just a single player, but with multiple players, two players can walk in to this zone. But two players can walk in. Thereby this. But two players can walk in, disabling the zone. Okay, I'm trying to say two players walk in and one player walk out, and there's still one more player inside the zone, but it is enabled. But multiple two players can walk in. By multiple players, but with multiple players, two can walk in, thereby. Okay, so this is where I talk about the numbers is trying, instead of typing 2, I put a 2, so when it appears as subtitles, it kind of reinforces the idea that the number is important. Okay, anyway, let's get it on. Get it on with get it. Let's continue, yes. Well, it doesn't sound all that peculiar when it's just a single, but with multiple players, two players can walk in. By multiple players, two players can walk in to disable the zone. Can walk in to disable the zone, but with multiple players, I cannot use the word "but" again. But with I can use "however" and then. No, never mind. Let's see how this goes first. But with multiple players, two can walk in to disable. Can walk into. But with multiple players, two can walk in to disable the zone. But with multiple players, two can walk in to disable the zone. Okay, what am I trying to say? Well, it doesn't sound all that clear when it's just a single player. But with multiple players, two can walk into this. Two can yet re-enable it. By multiple players, two can walk into this yet when one player two can walk into the yet re-enable it by accident. Get re-enable it unknowingly, yes, unknowingly when one exits. Two can enter. Since I'm using exit already, I'll say enter here. But with multiple players, two can enter to disable the zone, yet re-enable it unknowingly when one exits. When one exits, causing a nasty surprise if reinforcements spawns. Okay, I'll just continue here. If this sentence sounds weird, I would this is just the first draft, so in the final draft I'll more or less correct it. Okay, so these are my the notes. Let's see what have we not talked about. Okay, I haven't talked about this point, haven't talked about this point, haven't talked about this point and this point. This section is already a little long. When playing Shadow Raid, we hear an announcement, and so and when that happens, we either get a container or guarantee artifact, or worse, more Pokemon tickets. There's a 50% chance to get either one, but fortunately, with this trick today, we can manipulate it. So what actually happens is that when the player first enters the compound, the helicopter is scripted spawn 5 minutes after, and right before it does, the game checks if the two landing zones are valid. The two possible landing zones are checks that the two possible. Obviously, we don't want extra murkies and pages, so we'll disable the reinforcement landing zone. To do so, all we need is one player to walk onto the half of the helipad closer to spawn and wait. Bear in mind, this zone works in a particular way as well. When a player walks in, and enabled when player walks out. Wait, how is that peculiar? Well, it doesn't sound all that peculiar when it doesn't sound that peculiar with a single player, but with multiple players, two can enter to disable, yet re-enable, yet unknowingly re-enable, yet unknowingly re-enable when one exits, causing a nasty surprise if the reinforcement spawns. Okay, so I'm just gonna conclude this paragraph. So having just one player doing this, having just one player doing this is best. Do I need to talk about this point? I don't think one's on a roof, so just I could. Okay. Oh, this is tiring, mentally exhausting. Well, it doesn't sound all that peculiar. Wait, how is that peculiar? Well, it doesn't sound all that peculiar with a single player, but with multiple players, two can enter to disable yet unknowingly re-enable when one exits, causing a nasty surprise if the reinforcement spawns. So it's best to have. So it's best to only have one player. So it's best. So it's best to it's best to have just one player doing this. So it's better to have just one. So it's best to have just one player. So it's best to have just one player doing this. Okay, I don't have to talk about this point because we're gonna talk about pages in the next in the next section. So let's skip this. Let me just strike it out to remember that we are not doing this. Do I need to talk about sitting on the roof? Of course, no sane player will. Of course, no sane player will. Of course, no sane player will wait on the roof for the entire 5 minutes. Of course, no sane player will wait on the roof for the entire minute. Just don't forget. Just don't forget to come back up and just don't forget to come back up before the helicopter spawns. If this trick feels too much like a cheat, we can always simply leave it up to okay, so this looks good. Wait, how is that peculiar? Well, it doesn't sound all that peculiar with single player, but with multiple players, two can enter to disable yet unknowingly re-enable when one exits, causing a nasty surprise if the reinforcement spawns. So it's best to have just one player doing this. Of course, no sane player will wait on the roof for the entire 5 minutes. Just don't forget to come back up before the. If this trick feels too much like a cheat, always simply leave it up to RNG. Of course, no sane player will wait. No sane player will wait up on the roof for the entire 5 minutes. Just don't forget to come back up. No, I'm using the word up twice in the same chunk. Of course, no sane player will wait on the roof for the entire 5 minutes. Just don't forget to come back up before the helicopter spawns. If this trick feels too much like a cheat, we can always simply leave it up to RNG. Okay, am I gonna tie this up into one chunk? Of course, if no sim player will wait on the roof for the entire variant. Just don't forget to come back up before the helicopters once. It is these two paragraphs sounds a little disconnected. Of course, no sim player will wait up on the roof for the entire variant. Just don't forget to come back up before the helicopters once. How am I gonna connect this part? Do I want to connect this part? So it's best to have one player. Of course, no sim player will wait on the roof for the entire thing. Just don't forget to come back up before the helicopters. Okay, I have not talked about the 10 seconds thing. Hi and bye, Sante. Yes, I see the bear. Okay, I want to talk about the announcement here. So what actually happens is that when a player first enters the compound, the helicopter is scripted after with an announcement happening 10 seconds before it. Okay, so yep, I forgot to talk about the Bane thing. So what actually happens is that when a player first enters the compound, the helicopter is scripted to spawn 5 minutes after, with an announcement happening 10 seconds before. We can tell when this we can tell when it starts. We can tell when it happens since when announcement happening 10 seconds before. We can tell. Okay, I'm gonna talk about Bane saying the stuff. So okay, let me just play it to get some inspiration. Bane will speak to confirm. Okay.
Keep an eye out for anything you can hustle out of there. The murky water containers are your best bet. Get some more.
Okay, so that's what I was trying to say. So what actually happens is that when a player first enters the compound, the helicopter is scripted to spawn 5 minutes after with an announcement happening. With an announcement happening 10 seconds before. We can tell a sign of this happening. A sign of this is a sign of this is Bane speaking to us. Does this sentence sound right?
Gates want you to silently find alternative routes. Time to make.
Come on. Oh.
The warehouse will be. Keep an eye out for anything you can hustle out of there. The murky.
Okay, the long guide does say something about this as well. Maybe I can get some inspiration for the script about the long guide. Yep, indicated by Bane telling them for the first time to check out the containers. So that's what I'm trying to say as well, but obviously trying to say it in my own words. So what actually happens is that when a player first enters the compound, the helicopter is that when a player first enters the compound, the helicopter is scripted to spawn 5 minutes after. a way to... Okay, let me see if the other video has a different voice line.
Sharp, gentlemen. Just grab any valuables you can.
Okay, he talks about the murky loot.
Liberate. Check Murky Waters containers. There's a lot of stuff coming home. Gates, what keep an eye out for anything you can hustle out of there.
Okay, so definitely Bane is talking about containers. So actually, when player first enters the compound, the helicopter is finds after with an anomaly. Bane will also be telling us about the containers at this point. And right before the helicopter spawns. Okay, I have to talk about helicopter now because originally it's one sentence, right? So I use it. So now I have to say. And right before the helicopter spawns, the game checks if the 2 possible landing zones are valid. Obviously, we don't want the extra murkies and pages, so we'll disable the reinforcement landing zone. To do so, all we need is have a player walk onto the half of the helipad closer to the spawn and wait. Bear in mind, this zone works in a particular way. It's disabled when a player walks in and enabled when a player walks out. Wait, how is that peculiar? Well, it doesn't sound peculiar. It doesn't sound peculiar at all with when it doesn't sound. Well, it doesn't sound peculiar at all. At all with a single player. But with multiple players, 2 can enter to disable. But with multiple players, 2 can enter to disable and then unknowingly re-enable when 1 exits, causing a nasty surprise if the reinforcements on. So it's best to have just 1 player doing this. Of course, no same player will wait on the roof for the entire 5 minutes. So just don't forget to come back up before the helicopter spawns. And if this, okay, so I'm just gonna, and if, but if this trick, okay, should I split it up? But if this trick feels too much like a cheat, we can always leave it up to RNG. In any case, what happens next is we secure. In any case, what happens next is to secure the warehouse. Okay, so wow, we gotten this section done, securing the warehouse. Okay, I managed to get all the points in that I want to talk about. So next is securing. Okay, so I can reiterate the point of why we need to secure the warehouse, because I mentioned it at the start, right? So I want to reiterate this. Okay. Whew. I am tired. So far we have spent close 2 hours on the flow and the script. That is combined with the time used in the last stream. So okay, in any case, yes, let's continue. In any case, what happens next is to secure the warehouse. Okay, so I want to remind. In any case, what happens next is, of course, no sim player will wait on the roof for the entire time. Just don't forget to come back up before level up. But if this trick feels too much like a cheat, we can always leave it up to RNG. In any case, what happens next? What happens next is to secure the warehouse. And a quick recap, and a quick to why we want why, and a quick recap to why we want to do so, and a quick recap to why we want to do so is because an open vault when spotted. And a quick recap to why we would pronouncing this is gonna be a pain. To why we would want to do so is because an open vault And a quick recap to why we want to do so is because an open vault is suspicious, and because an open vault is suspicious and will eventually be spotted, by a patrolling guard. Okay, this is actually supposed to be together, but yeah, this two is supposed to be together. Okay, why do I have the section text here? Is actually more for the video part. It's supposed to transition, like maybe the text is gonna change at the top or something like that. Yeah, but since this is like that, but this whole thing is supposed to be a smooth flowing paragraph. In any case, what happens next is secure warehouse. And a quick recap to why we want to do so is because an open vault is suspicious and will eventually be spotted by a patrolling guard. Ooh. Time to talk about the number of guards inside. So, oof, we are not even I would say this is 30% of the video so far. This is why the script part takes up so much of the flow, and script takes up so much of the entire video making thing, because I'm trying to get a nice flow and to make sure that the information goes smoothly. Obviously, it is a tall order, a difficult task, which is why I need to find ways to shorten my video making process. And not to forget, this is just the first draft. The second draft, the final draft doesn't take that long to finish in that sense, but yeah, I will still spend some time rereading the draft when finalizing it. So okay, so now I want to talk about the number of guards in the warehouse, right? in any case, what happens next is to secure the warehouse. And a quick recap to why I want to do so, blah blah blah. Because an open vault is suspicious, and so how many guards are there? So how many patrolling guards are there? Patrolling guards are there. So how many guards are? So how many guards are there exactly? So how many guards in the warehouse? In the warehouse are there exactly? In any case, what happens next is secure the warehouse, and a quick recap to why we want to do so. Why we want to do so is because an open vault is suspicious. It's suspicious and will eventually be spotted by. So how many guards are there in the warehouse? So how many guards are there in the warehouse exactly? Are there in the warehouse exactly? So how many guards are? Okay, is this gonna be in the same sentence or not? Same paragraph or not? Hey Hubert, you're still up. It's 11 PM for you. Yep, still doing the video. Now we are doing the script for the video. Oh, it's a huge pain and a hassle. Yep, but I do this for every video, so unavoidable. Well, hope you're having a good night. You should go rest soon, definitely. I'll be resting soon as well. I'm only like 30% done with the script, so yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be finishing this anytime soon. Maybe spending another 20 minutes before I go to bed. So yep. Well, in any case, thanks for dropping by. Back to the script. In any case, what happens is next is to secure the warehouse. And a quick recap to why we want to do so is because an open vault is suspicious and will eventually be spotted. And will so how many guards are there in the warehouse exactly? Okay, this will be a new paragraph. So how many guards are there in the warehouse exactly? Across all difficulties, there will always be one camera guard, and 4 patrolling ones. Okay, this is where I use numbers instead of text. For example, as mentioned earlier, instead of using 1 and 4 here, I change it into numbers just to emphasize. Wait, is that my Steam? Am I getting a message on Steam? Yes, I am. Oh, cool. Okay, so if any of you guys are seeing there is a free Lego Batman trilogy that you can get that is going on for free right now. Batman Arkham Collection and Lego Batman Trilogy. Wow. Both of it. Okay, let me ask if I can share. Can I share that link? Okay, so if you guys, if I can share that link, I'll just post it somewhere. Okay, back back to the video. Oh, what is this game? Okay, let's not get distracted. Oof. Okay. Hey, Kravet, thanks for dropping by. Boring stuff, boring stuff. Okay, so how many guards are there in the warehouse exactly? Across all difficulties, there will always be one camera guard and 4 patrolling ones. Okay, where are my notes? So how many guards are there in the warehouse exactly? Across all difficulties, there will always be one camera guard and 4. This is why we this is why we need the helicopter trick. Helicopter trick. This is why we learn the helicopter trick. This is why we learn to not have extra guards. Whoops. Okay. Okay, so now this is the part where I'm talking about we are using 4 pages for the patrolling guards, right? So, but we have to leave the camera guards alive. So how many guards are there in the warehouse exactly? Across all difficulties, there will always be one camera guard and 4 patrolling ones. This is why we learned the helicopter trick to not have extra guards. Okay, so this is where I talk about leaving the camera guards, leaving the cam guard alive, but there's a glitch. There's a glitch, yep, that we can use the guards becoming frozen. So I'm gonna move into that point. So how many guards are there in the warehouse exactly? Across all difficulties, there will always be one camera guard and 4 patrolling ones. This is why we learned the helicopter trick to not have extra guards. Okay, I want to talk about 4 pages and 4 patrolling guards, but I already used the this style of text. As in this style of text to pretend that I'm it's another viewer asking me a question. So I already said wait, how is that particular? So I don't want to do another wait. Okay, I can say hold on, hold on. Hold on, we only have 4 pages. So all pages on all patrolling guards. Okay, yes, that works. That works. So all pages on all, so 4 pages, 4 patrolling guards. Hold on, we only have 4 pages, so 4 pages on 4 patrol. Okay, I just want to change this sentence a little bit, not too difficult. Hold on, we only have 4 pages, so 4 pages. So 4 pages, 4 patrolling guards. 4 dead patrolling guards, but cameras alive. Hold on, we only have 4 pages. So 4 pages, 4 dead patrolling guards, but the cameras are... Oh. So 4 pages, 4 dead patrolling guards, but 4... So I'm getting confused. Stop saying 4. Hold on, we only have 4 pages. So 4 pages, 4 dead patrolling guards. But the cameras are still... But the cameras are still live. But the cameras are still live. Yes, that's the natural conclusion. Yes, that's the natural... Yes, that's the natural conclusion. But again, apart from the trick, we have... But again, apart from the earlier trick... Yes, that's the natural conclusion. But again, apart from the earlier trick, we still have a glitch. But again, we have another way. But again, apart from just like the earlier trick, we have just like the trick from earlier, just like I got the trick from earlier. We have a way around this. A glitch. Okay, sounds pretty smooth right now. So how many guards are there in the warehouse exactly? Across all difficulties, there will always be one camera guard and 4 patrolling ones. This is why we learned the helicopter trick to not have extra guards. Hold on. No, of course I'm not going to say that. I will have to think of how to pronounce this in the actual recording. Hold on. We only have 4 pages. So 4 pages, 4 dead patrolling guards, but the cameras are still live. Yes, that's the natural conclusion. But again, just like the helicopter trick from earlier, we have a way around this. The freezing guard glitch. Freezing guard glitch. You see when with both balcony doors closed. You see with both this is that is the difficulty of trying to write the script. But having a script makes it easier for long videos rather than but this is my style to do a script, so the pain of my path. Yes, that's the natural conclusion. But again, just like the helicopter trick from earlier, we have a way around this. The freezing guard glitch. You see, with both balcony doors closed, when with both. You see, with both balcony doors closed, you see when a guard tries to patrol the balcony. You see when a guard tries to do the impossible. When a guard tries to do the impossibility of patrolling the balcony, when both doors are closed, You see, when a guard tries to do the impossibility of patrolling the balcony, when with both doors closed, they simply freeze. They simply glitch out and freeze in a spot. You see, when a guard tries to do the impossible patrolling When a guard tries to do the impossible patrolling of the balcony, when both doors are closed, they simply glitch out and freeze. On the spot. And when frozen in with time, eventually all 4 guards can freeze out with enough waiting time, with enough time and luck. Eventually all 4 guards freeze out. Yes, this is what I'm gonna say. You see, when the guard tries to do the impossible, by patrolling. Oof. Okay, I'm trying to restructure this part. You see, when a guard tries to do the impossible task of patrolling. You see, when a guard tries to do the impossible task of patrolling the balcony, when both doors are closed, they simply glitch out and freeze on the spot. Just simple typo. Not too much of a problem. So we glitch out and freeze on the spot with enough time and luck. Eventually, all 4 guards freeze up. Freeze out sounds right, but looks wrong at the same time. I'll just leave it as that for now. You see, when the guard tries to do the impossible task of patrolling the balcony, they simply glitch out and freeze on the spot. Thanks, Hubert. Thanks. Have an early night. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for dropping by to say hello and good luck. Yes. Okay, onward. We are not even 50% done. Okay, so for those of you who have just arrived, on the left, the document is the outline of what the video is going to be like. It's basically point form of the entire video. Right now, basically I'm converting the outline into a proper script, which you see me say in a video. So now we are about 40% of the outline, and I'm kind of like not not gonna make it through to 100% of the whole outline. So yeah, just gonna give it maybe a good 10 or 20 minutes more of brain power, and before I stop, and I'm running out of brain power very soon. So whew. Okay, let's go. You see, when the guard tries to do impossible task around the balcony, with both doors closed, when both doors are closed, they simply glitch out and freeze on the spot with enough time and luck. Eventually, all 4 guards. Yeah. it eventually happens to all of the four. Yep, this sounds better. With enough time and luck, it eventually happens to all. Okay, so I've talked about the glitch. I've introduced the glitch, what it does. Where are you going, Sante? Why are you there and back? It's confusing. Okay, you see when the guard tries to impose the pass. Okay, I haven't talked about if they freeze in a good position, it saves us a pager. They simply glitch out and freeze on spot. With enough time and luck, it eventually happens to it. With enough time and luck, it eventually happens to all. When a guard tries to all four. To all four. With enough time and luck, it eventually happens to. I'm trying to say all of the four guards, but I don't want to keep repeating. 2.5 includes the flow, the outline. Yes, so I have been doing. These two documents have taken me 2.5 hours, and it's not gonna be just 2.5. It's probably gonna take maybe 2 hours more for the complete product. Yes, definitely not gonna be done soon. Yep, not yet. That's how much work it goes into a video for me personally. Time. Okay, I'm trying to say when they freeze out in a good location, it saves us pages. See when the guy tries to do impossible task, they simply glitch out and freeze on the spot. With enough time and luck, it eventually happens to all four, and saves us pages. But I want to talk about freezing in a good position. Alright, Sante, have fun playing Payday. See ya, thanks for dropping by. With enough time and luck, eventually it happens to all four. Goodbye, Sante the bear. Okay, I can start a new paragraph and say when this happens in a good position, it will save us a pager. See, when the guard tries to do the impossible task of patrolling the balcony, when both doors are closed, they simply glitch out and freeze on the spot when they and freeze on the spot. With enough time and luck, it eventually awful. You see when the guard in the note I talk about the freezing, the saving pager part first. Of course, this is just outline, doesn't have to follow the outline exactly. When a guy tries to do the impossible task of patrolling the balcony, yeah, I said when twice. No wonder it sounds so odd and weird. When a guy attempts to patrol. Tries and attempts is the same. What am I doing? Which sounds better? Doesn't really matter. Okay. Okay, attempts. Let's just go with attempts. Doesn't matter. When a guard attempts to do the impossible task of patrolling the balcony with both doors closed. I'm trying to convey that the balcony and 2 doors are closed, plus a guard trying to patrol there. I may have to restructure this sentence. See when. See when. You see, when a guard tries to reach, I don't have to go with such a long-winded sentence. When a guard tries to reach. When a guard attempts to reach the balcony. When a guard attempts to reach the balcony. When a guard decides to reach the balcony. When a guard decides to go for the balcony, he decides to patrol the balcony. When a guard decides to patrol the balcony, but yet guard decides to patrol. Okay, the sentence is not making sense. You see, when a guard decides to patrol the balcony, when a guard decides to patrol the oh, my brain is locking out right now. I can't think of a proper sentence. Maybe I need Grammarly. Grammarly helps me to. Okay, screw that. There's too much Grammarly advertisements on YouTube. Okay, let's just follow this. When a guard attempts to reach an impossible location, attempts to reach an impossible location, like the balcony with both doors closed. You see, when a guard attempts to reach an impossible location, like the balcony with both doors closed, they simply glitch out and freeze off on the spot with enough time and luck. Okay, not bad. At least we have cleared up this sentence. What next I'm going to talk about is when they freeze in a good location, this saves pages, right? See, when a guard attempts to reach an impossible location, like the balcony with both doors closed. With enough time and luck, this will happen to all. This will happen to all 4 of them. With enough time and luck, this will happen to all 4. No. With enough time and luck adventures to all 4. And when it happens, and when gods freeze in a good spot, good spot, that's one less pager to spend. Makes sense or makes no sense? You see, when the god attempts to reach closed, they simply glitch out and freeze enough time. It will eventually happen to all. Eventually happen to all 4. All of the 4. All of the 4. Whew. 2.5 hours in flow and script already. This is mentally intense. Oof, mentally intense here. Not gonna finish this section anytime soon. And when this happens, okay, I'm almost done with this section, so hopefully we'll finish this section in this stream. This is a very dry stream for today. You guys must be bored out watching me and hearing my voice. Actually, no, you guys might just be listening to this like some form of radio. I guess. Okay, back to work. Let's concentrate. You see, when a god attempts to reach an impossible location at the balcony with both doors closed, given enough time and luck, it will happen. Given enough time and luck, it will happen to. Hey, FC. Yep. This is the Unknown Night Entertainment Radio. Playing your favorite tunes. My voice. Enough time and luck, it will happen to all. Given enough time. Well, thank you for dropping by to say hi. That helps. Thank you for the compliment. Given enough time and luck, it will happen. When a god attempts to read all of the 4 gods. And when they do freeze, and when they do why did I type door? What's happening with my brain? I'm saying do, but I type door. And when they do freeze in a good spot, that's when they do given enough time and luck, it will happen to all 4. All 4. I think this works. Time. When they do freeze in a good spot, that's 1 ledger, and that's 1 pager. So with this new, so combining all of what we, we've just heard. No, what? So combining all of okay, I'm trying to say all of these 2 information gives us 2 approach. Then I will talk about the 2 different approach, and then this sentence is just to talk about opening the vault. So combining all of what we've just heard, we have two approaches. One is to take out the cams and hope for, one is take out the cam guard, one is take out the camera guard and hope for a patrolling guard to freeze out. In a good spot and away from the vault. First, yes. The other is so combining all of what we have just heard, we have two approaches. First is take out the camera guard and hope. First is to take out the camera guard and hope for a patrolling guard. Hope for at least one patrolling guard, and hope for at least one patrolling guard to freeze out in a good spot. To freeze out in a good spot away from the vault. The other is to spend all 4 pages on all 4 patrollers. The other is to spend all 4 pages on all 4 pages on all the pages on the 4. The other is to spend all the pages on the 4. Spend all our pages on the other. First is 2 approaches. Okay, I'm going to combine this into one huge chunk. So combining all what we heard, we have to do. First, take out the camera guard for at least one patrolling guard, and hope for at least one patrolling guard to freeze out, and wait for at least one patrolling guard to freeze up away from good spot, far away from. In a good spot away from the vault. The other is to spend all 4 pages. The other is to spend our pages on all 4 of the patrollers, leaving the cameras. The other is to spend our pages on all 4 cameras. Leaving the cameras alive and functioning. Either way, once we've secured the warehouse, it's time for the vault. Okay, so this is the whole section of securing the warehouse. Is actually starting from here to here. This is only the first draft, so don't really not. So I'm gonna relook it a little gonna relook it a little in the future, near future. Okay, so not bad. We have covered slightly over 50% of the outline. I guess I'm gonna stop here though. Okay, but before, let me just put a reminder here. Oh shit, what did I just type? Okay, basically, that's odd. Okay, so let me just what you call it? Let me just type this first, save it, and then we'll opening the vault. Okay, so what's going on is, okay, I'm just gonna stop the timer for the thing here. I'm gonna pause. Yes, pause. Wow. Okay, so we spent 2 hours 44 seconds 44 minutes and 34 seconds so far on the flow and the script. That is kind of insane. Yep, so we've spent 4 minutes on the topic, 1 hour 50 minutes doing the research, and now we have spent 2 hours 44 and 34. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep track of the time just to see how long we actually took to do this video. Okay, so that's all the progress I'm doing today. But before you guys go, thanks for coming by the way. Just two things. One is that some games are being given away free. I'm not sure how to claim it, but this is the link. I will paste the link in the chat so you guys can try to get it. Let me see how I can get it. I'm guessing this is yes. Yes, translate please. Okay. Okay, so you can get this for free, but this is only on the Epic Games Store, so we can claim free games if we have an Epic Games account. The Arkham Collection. Wow, Arkham Collection. Do I have the Arkham Collection? I don't know. Do I have an Epic Games account? I do not know. Okay, so Epic, we don't have to use the link. I guess we could go for Epic Games Store if you want, if we want, and directly sign in and claim the free. Oh, there's a free games collection. Okay, so there's a free, we can get a free game every week. So if you sign up for Epic Games Store, I guess you could get, this week is Batman Arkham Collection and Lego Batman Trilogy if you have an Epic Games account. Yep. Okay, but that's not the main point on yeah, this was shared by one of my friend on Steam. So yeah, if you guys want 6 free Batman games, go ahead. Otherwise, the other thing that I'm trying to say is okay, so you don't need a link from me, just go to the Epic Games Store and then you can get it to your account. So the other one is, let me see, I just started a giveaway on Wednesday. So if let's just see what it is. Steam group. I made a Steam group to do the giveaway, so it's kind of messy right now. Oof. Okay, group. Can I see group? Okay, so I made a gaming group. Yes, a Steam group. And I'm gonna paste this in the discussion. I'm gonna paste this in the chat so you guys can check it out if you want. Okay, I'm giving. I got some codes from Overkill, courtesy of Overkill, and I'm giving it away. Humble Mask Pack 1 to 5. You can check it out. Check it out. For example, this is Humble Mask Pack 1 all the way to 5, and I will be. So how do you participate? Just leave a comment in the thread. You do have to join the group first though. You can always leave after. Not an issue. I don't have anything that I'm doing with this group yet. So I will be drawing the winners on the next week's stream on the 25th, and I will contact the winners obviously to give them the codes. And yep, and I will be using a website called Wheel Decide. So I'm just gonna enter all the contestants, the participants, and then yeah, this is how I'm gonna get. Yeah, so this is how how I'm gonna draw the winners. It looks kind of silly, but I guess this is a more entertaining way. So yep, that's all for today. That's all for the stream. We are not not we are like 50% on the way to finish this video. Actually, not even 50%, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. In any case, thank you all for watching. Thank you. And I'll be ending the stream here. So go get your free Batman games and also participate in the giveaway if you want to. Otherwise, I'll see you all in the next stream on Monday. See you guys.